Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Javi, and this video we're gonna talk about if you have $1,000 and you want to start testing ads, how exactly do you go about it? Now, this is a very touchy subject because a lot of people are very scared, intimidated to even throw money at this thing. But I'm telling you, it's gonna have the biggest ROI on your time. The best skill that you can actually obtain is being a media buyer. If you know how to control the flow of traffic in your business, I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life. So I'm showing you exactly how I do it and the easiest form most possible to understand this. So let's jump right into it. So here we have pretty much a representation of how it looks like, but let me show you how it will look like in the ads manager if you actually look at it. So in the ads manager, we have three folders. We have campaign, assets, and ads. Campaign is pretty much the objective that we're gonna have. The campaigns, we either do a DM campaign, a sales campaign, traffic campaign, lead campaign, whatever it may be. That's the objective. Then we have the actual ad set, right? So for me, we have many different ad sets because I'm testing so many different creative. Now inside the ad sets, I personally like testing 3 creatives at a time, right? So it will look pretty much like this, right? So we have the campaign, we have the ad set, and then we have the 3 creatives, right? This is how I test $1,000. Well, personally, I test a lot more, but if I'm just starting out and I have $1,000 to my name and I want to test at least a few ads to see where can I get at least a winning creative, this is how I go about it. I will have 3 ad sets at $10 a day, right? I'm gonna show you a different strategy later on that is a little bit the same thing, but just creating 3 ads. But I want to show you the ones that I personally think that is better because the more ads you create, the better you're going to hone down that skill. And this is a skill that you need to make money. I guarantee you that if you focus on this month, on the next month, on just having high quality ads and making ads and testing them until you have a winning creative, next month you'll be at 30K per month or 50K per month, no question about it. Unless you're a horrible salesman, then it's not going to happen. But if you are good at sales and all you're missing is the traffic, this is all you have to do. Just create a bunch of winning creative, test until something pops. Put more budget behind it, book more calls, and close them. As simple as that. We overcomplicate it just because we don't understand what we're doing, but that's why I'm here and that's why I'm sharing this content. All right. So we have $1,000 distributed at $30 a day, right? Like I said, 1 campaign, 3 ad sets. Inside that 3 ad sets, we can have 3 ads. Now, what's gonna happen on those 3 ads is that then they're not all gonna perform the same. What's gonna happen is that Facebook is gonna push one of them to perform ad more than the other one. That's how I grade out some, right? So after the second day or third day, Facebook is going to be only giving the budget to one of them. You're going to see that $10 is going to be only going to one of these ad sets. This means that the algorithm of Facebook is telling you that these 2 are not going to perform better than this one. So what I do at the second day, first day, third day, whatever it may be, I turn off this 2. Just a little switch. This little switch, you click and you turn it off, right? Once you turn it off, the budget is going to be only allocated to one ad set, right? So here are the metrics I'm looking for, because just because the budget is going to one asset doesn't mean the ad is actually perfect. It's just telling you that out of this 3, Facebook is choosing this one to get the budget. The metrics I'm looking for is a 1% CTR plus and a cost per result, at least from the lowest of $3 to $25 max. You want to be as low as possible. The lower cost, the better, the more profitable you're going to be. And then you were looking for a cost of book call from $80 to $400. You're not going to be able to track this metric on the ads manager. You're going to need the KPI tracker for this, but that's technically your cost per book call. That's what you should be looking for, right? But from the ads manager, you're going to be looking at the cost per result, which is this one, and the CTR, which is right here. CTR is click-through rate. What that means, out of 100 people, how many people are clicking through the ad, right? And you need this to be in above 1%. See how all my ads are above 1%? That means they're solid and you can keep going, right? Now, what could happen is that not all of them perform, right? Like I put in this example right here. You give it all $10 a day, you wait 3 days, they're all shit. So you turn the whole campaign off. You turn the actual ad set off, right? Like if I go to my ads manager and I go to the ad sets, you can see I have some turned off because they're just not working. So you don't have to actually turn it off on the ads point of view. You can just turn it off on the ad set. So if it's not working, just turn it off. Done, right? Another thing I like to do is find out the cost per result. Once you start testing this at the 3rd day, you will have an average cost per result. Like if I go to my ads manager and I go to, let me go to campaigning DM campaign like this one, right? This one I spent around 165,000. My average cost per message is around $18. Let's just average it to $20. What I would like to do in the future, let's say since I know my average cost per message is, or cost per result is $20, I would try to raise the budget to at least cost per result at least 3x, right? If your cost per message is $10, that's totally fine. So what you want to do is raise the budget to $30 or 20% a day until it gets to the 20, 30, 40, $50, because you want to get multiple results per day. Let me give you an example. If you finally run this ad for 2 or 3 days and your average cost per result is $10, that means you're only gonna get one result per day. It's gonna take forever for you to feel like you're going anywhere because you're only getting one result per day. Once I have a winning creative, like once I know, not a winning creative yet, because a winning creative is booking calls and closing calls, right? We're trying to find that winning creative, which that's another video. But here we're just trying to look if the marketing is all right. So once we tested this for the second day or third day, and we have one ad, right? And the ad is telling you, hey, your average cost per message is $10. Then we want to raise this to $30, $40, $50 a day, so you can start getting 5 results per day. And then we go into the lead forms or the DM to see if those actually results are qualified or not, or they're actually the lead that I'm talking about, right? But that's, like I said, that's a whole other video. Here we're just talking about the marketing. So that's pretty much, that's as simple as it gets. You have $1,000. We want to spend $10 a day, $30 a day. We want to distribute it between 3 different ad sets. Inside those ad sets, we want to have 3 different ads. We wait 2 days or 3 days. At the second or third day, we turn the ones that are not performing, and then we leave one on. The one that is on, we're watching very careful for a cost per result from $3 at the lowest, at the highest $25, and a CTR of 1% plus. The more the better. And the reason why the CTR is so important, it correlates with the cost per results. If you have a brand new video and right now it has let's say a 1%, and you want to scale that ad, what happens as you give this ad more of a bigger budget and bigger budget and bigger budget, the cost per result is going to increase. That's why we want such a good CTR, that if I do increase the ad budget, it doesn't completely take a dump and then my cost per result is out of whack. That's why we want to have a higher CTR as possible. How do we get a good CTR? Well, your CTR is your hook. The first 3 seconds, that's what you gotta focus on. If your first 3 seconds is solid and is grabbing people's attention and you're speaking to your exact avatar, it will correlate with a good CTR, okay? So now, what if the reason why I said try to do it with 9 ads, and I know it might be, if you're the first time doing this, oh, Javi, but I can't create 9 ads. Well, you gotta try to break through that and break through the skill of creating ads, because I'm telling you, it's gonna be the highest ROI. It's gonna be your highest paid skill. Now, if for some reason you're like, Javi, I don't want to do that, I want to be lazy, or I don't want to make a bunch of fucking ads, or I don't know what it is, whatever excuse you have, you could do this. You could just have $30 a day on one ad set with just 3 ads. And yes, it's a way slower process to do it, so expect just slower results because you got to test 3 ads at a time. For me, I like to test a bunch. Like last month, we tested over 180 ads. I spent almost $27,000 on just testing, $27,000 on just testing new creatives. And my sole purpose was not to get results or get book calls. It was just literally, well, I wanted creating creative, so they had to get results. But I was just searching for winning creative. That's all I wanted. And I know once I find winning creative, that will make me money. That's why it's so important to look for those winning creative, okay? So, but you could technically just have one ad set at $30 and then have 3 ads inside and then wait 3 days, 2 days, and you're going to have one ad that's going to be outperforming the rest. And then you allocate that budget to this one. You can also do it with the 3. So let's say we have 3 ad sets, right? And this was all 3 flop. Everything here was horrific. We turned completely off the ad set, which we turn it off right here. We click one of those blue little switch, which turns off the ad set, right? You turn this one off. Now you can allocate that $10 that you had right here to here and here. You can put 15 here and 15 here. And then the next day, if it's still working good, then you can raise it by another $5, and then you have 20 here and 20 here. The whole purpose of this is to start getting at least your cost per book call, which is the metrics that we want to get. The more DM, the more application we get, eventually is going to lead to a book call. We want to get to the book call KPI as soon as possible, because once we have the book call KPI, we can predictably scale. We can be like, okay, it's going to cost me this much to get this 10 book calls. It's going to cost me 2,000, 3,000, whatever it may be. And then I have this closing rate, so I'm going to close X amount of people if I could book this call. And that's how we could predictably scale. Okay, so that's as simple as it gets. I don't want to overcomplicate it, but that's pretty much how it gets. Then if you want to scale beyond that, this is another diagram or another thing that I want to show you that is pretty much, okay, Javi, I have 10 winning creative. What do? I just scale those winning creative, to multiple winning audiences or whatever it may be at $100, $80, $150 each. But there's way more advanced stuff after you already have a couple winning creative. But this is simple. This is literally all you have to do. If you just have $1,000 to your name and you want to test a couple ads, this is what you do. Now, you not might find a winning creative on a $1,000 budget. You may so, or you may not. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. If you planning to get rich out of $1,000, it may not happen. It might will happen. We have some clients that in their first month made 40 grand. We have some clients that in 3 months, it took them 3 months, but then that third month they made like 60 grand or 80 grand. It varies with the person and the skills that they have. So don't feel too bummed if you feel like you're not growing fast enough or you don't have the skill of marketing. You got to work at it. And I'm telling you, it's going to be the highest ROI. It's going to be the highest pay skill that you have, because once you can attract clients to your business, hell, any business, I'm telling you, there's be no way for you not to make money, because that's the number one problem most business owners have. I don't have enough clients. And if you can eliminate that problem from your business and always have clients, not just for the funding space, like I'm teaching you guys for funding, but if you I learned this skill actually it's 5 years ago, and I did it first at drop shipping, then I did it with my rental company, then I did it with my marketing agency, then I did it with the funding company, and then I do it now with the model, which I help other funding companies scale. I'm literally doing with every company I've owned. I use the scale of paid media. That's why I never had a client problem. I never had a problem of, I need more clients. I've always had a problem of economic to scale, which I need more employees. I need more this, but it was never like I need more clients problem. If you learn this, you solve that problem. So take your time. Make as many creatives as possible. That is the whole key of this. If you have a winning hook with a winning creative, you will make money. So be patient, be consistent, and I promise you, eventually you're going to find a winning creative that you make all the money back. Actually, when I was scaling, I only had 2 winning creative, both at like one I had at $850, one I had like $1,000 a day. I was spending like a shit ton of money, and those 2 creatives were bringing me almost $300,000 every single month for 4 months straight. It wasn't until the 4th month that the ads started dying out, and then I started scaling down. So literally, it took me one picture ad made me almost $1 million pretty much. I spent, I think, around 250 grand on that picture ad or that winning creative, and I made almost $1 million in revenue. Okay, so you make all that money back and all that time back once you finally hit it, but it just takes time. And if it was that easy, everybody will be goddamn rich, everybody will have winning creatives, everybody have beautiful ads, and I wouldn't even be used to anybody. But that's why it does take time, it takes reps, it takes patience, and it takes focused energy. If you're just shitting out a bunch of horrible ads, then that's why you're getting creative. You got to sit down and talk about your customer avatar. Now, who is your customer avatar? For me, my customer avatar has always been, I'm always marketing to myself a year ago or 2 years ago. So I'm marketing to my older self. So just think about what you got to say to your older self. Like, what is the hook that will get that person's attention? So speak to your older self. That'll be the winning hook. That'll be the 3-second winning hook. Like, the first thing that you're saying, and just try a bunch of winning hooks until you have something that completely takes off and overrides everything else that everybody's doing, and you beat the market. And then you get cost per message will be $3. Like, I have a couple clients right now that their ads are so good, their cost per message is like $2. And even if they have a bad closing rate, like a 25% or 22% closing rate, they're still profitable just because the lead flow is so cheap. So if you focus on a really good ad, you're going to have low cost for lead flow, which is going to be easier for you to scale and be more profitable. All right. I hope you guys got value out of this video. I'll see you guys on the next.